Hotep Senuhena Senut Iti Aren I Shakandugu Kemet. Greetings to all. I just want to check the sound first. Oh, okay, hold on. How's it now? I just want to check the sound first. Great, it's loud and clear. That's lovely. So, give me 1 second. The title of this video is Alex Jones must pay $50 million for Sandy Hook hoax claim. In parentheses, it says, he previously made Trayvon Martin hoax claim. Let me first play the video where we can hear Alex Jones state that the Trayvon Martin case is a hoax. Let me share my screen. Oh, my bad. There it is.
Alex Jones reporting for Infowars.com. Well, the Trayvon Martin case that's been promoted by Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and others has completely collapsed and appears to be a hoax. It looks like Mr. Zimmerman followed him, and that was his only mistake. I think it was stupid because that's always escalating things. But now there's witnesses that have been there from day one. The police didn't tell anybody about that. Trayvon Martin was on top of him, broke his nose, busted his head open. It looks like Martin's got all sorts of stuff in his past. The media has been showing photos of him when he's 12 years old instead of 17. Zimmerman, of course, was like 5'2", 5'3". Trayvon Martin, 6'3". So we now see this image emerging of the fact that what we were originally told is not the case. And haven't we seen that before with Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, two shameful people who are constantly race baiting and creating racial division and trying to raise money off this? The new Black Panther Party, who just are basically, in my view, Black Ku Klux Klan, running around calling for vigilante justice to get Zimmerman. The media piling on and calling the guy white when he looks more Hispanic, so whites can be bad. We saw that with the whole lacrosse team thing. They were totally exonerated. Turned out the whole thing was made up. Did we get an apology from Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton? No, we never did. Now, when cops shoot a black man in handcuffs in the back who's completely innocent in San Francisco, it gets covered up. And you don't see people running around calling for riots. But whenever it can be about playing groups of Americans off against each other, the mainstream corporate media that wants to divide and conquer is there. But remember what happened with the lacrosse team at Duke. Well, now all of this is coming out. Let me show you right here some of the articles just to refresh your memory. Charges dropped in Duke lacrosse case. Totally exonerated, all made up. Here's the Drudge Report. New details emerge on Trayvon. Multiple suspensions from school, marijuana, graffiti, possession of burglary tool, jewelry. Cop Zimmerman says Trayvon decked him with one blow, hammered head on sidewalk. That's what witnesses we learned a week ago have been saying. Suffering broken nose, had injury to back of head. Former NAACP leader, who actually wants people to live in peace, accuses Sharpton Jackson of exploiting death. And he says the real problem is black on black crime. Yeah, that's the real death numbers. Mother seeks to trademark son's name. Cracker T-shirt hits Florida streets. And boy, I saw this. Why is it always okay to call white people names? Why is it always okay to do stuff like that? I'm sick of it. I mean, look at that. Puss ass cracker. It's supposedly cute and funny. So this is just completely and totally disgusting. And I, for one, am sick of it. Okay. And to watch tens of thousands of people in Orlando, in Dallas, in Chicago, in New York come out and protest in basically a hate white people event. Let me tell black folks something, okay? And I know we have a ton of black viewers and listeners who are great people and fully awake to the real threat, the global mega banks are destroying our society, the depression, the devaluation of the dollar, the wars, the troops breathing DU. But to the folks that are buying into this kind of mainstream media race pimping deal, this is about divide and conquer. The average white person is a guilt ridden creature who hates themselves and wants to prove to black people that they love you. Okay? I mean, a large portion of whites voted to put Obama in office. So I'm sick of hearing this. And I told people they're putting Obama in so he can create racial division, not using this to heal old wounds, because the system doesn't want that. They want to continue to play people off against each other. So the Trayvon Martin hoax is imploding. Okay? It is imploding, and the former head of the NAACP is right. This is being used as a way to get people at each other's throats. It is only going to hurt relations in this country and hurt our economy as people don't work together. Because even if whites aren't racist, most of them, they start getting paranoid, thinking everybody, hates them. Again, that's the slogan of Infowars.com, because there's a war on for your mind. Finally, really.
I will play the rest of the video. There's about 2 minutes left. But that's it as far as Trayvon Martin goes. I will only play the rest of the video. We've seen 4 minutes so far. It will be 6 minutes, 15 seconds in total, so that you can hear at the end Alex Jones stating the name of his website for the record, because that video is not from Alex Jones' website. That video was uploaded on another website or YouTube account. I mean, his YouTube account was terminated along with some other of his platforms online, social media that is. But it was re-uploaded by some other YouTube channel, and I have shared the link in the chat already. It was uploaded 9 years ago, so you can make the calculation. All right. When it comes to the Trayvon Martin case, now it's going to talk about Obamacare. Is going to make a correlation with fascism, and then you will hear him state the name of his website. He has already read it, but anyway, that's just for the record.
Really bad news. Ron Paul suspects Supreme Court will rule monstrosity Obamacare constitutional. Yeah, they're getting the media preparation in place, getting conservatives ready. Oh, the conservative justices are probably going to vote for it because it's so conservative. Alito and Scalia, conservative. Big insurance companies owned by mega banks wrote the healthcare plan. It lets the feds take over healthcare, cut the type of care you can get, death panels, all of it, and makes 35 million people go buy insurance. So it was always sold as communism. It's not even communism. That's bad enough. It's fascism. And that's what we're facing here. And get ready for it. This is where the big banks run America and force us to buy their products and then don't even deliver real health care in the end. Paul Watson, for over a month, one of our great writers at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, has had an incredible chest cold. And he has to go to the National Health Service. It took him a month to get in. And when he got there, they gave him a little pack of, aspirin and stuff and didn't even do a swab to see what it was. And he's still sick. You can't just go see a private doctor. You have to have the government allow you to go see one that the elite go see, and it's up to them. That's what government healthcare is. All right, we'll be reporting on this on the radio today, 11 a.m. Central. If you don't have a local AM or FM in your area, I'm on channel 166 XM and the free audio streams at Infowars.com, video streams at PrisonPlanet.tv. Alex Jones signing off from the front lines of the Infowar.
Okay, so you've heard it. You've heard it for the record. At first, he started off saying that the Trayvon Martin case appears to be a hoax. He was a little bit careful with his wording, and later on he said the Trayvon Martin hoax is imploding. Now, just some commentary before I deal with the article talking about his total of nearly 50 million dollars that he has been ordered to pay to the family members of victims of the Sandy Hook uh, mass shooting. Alex Jones at one point said, "Why is it okay? Why is it always okay to insult white people?" He seems more worried about profanity used on a t shirt targeting George Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin. When George Zimmerman called 911 and he was asked, "Are you following him?" Zimmerman answered yes. And the operator on the phone told him, "You don't need to do that." I don't think he got the message. I don't think he followed that instruction. The other thing is that Alex Jones, Alex Jones went through a list of quote unquote facts regarding Trayvon Martin, that he was suspended from school. There was mention of graffiti and marijuana. And that thing is very common when a black person gets killed by the police. They usually explain that this person has had run-ins with the law before. You have people who ended up being politicians and that have used marijuana or weed. You might have one guy who ended up being the president of the United States, but I might be wrong. Suspended from school and graffiti. Oh my goodness. Such serious offenses. This is more than a talking point. This is a logic. This is a rationale, as if it's okay if he went because that's what he was up to. But I will leave it there. I will leave it there. Now, he mentioned the new Black Panther Party, and he said that to him it's like a black Ku Klux Klan. The Ku Klux Klan is known for having killed, murdered plenty of black people. Is the new Black Panther Party known for having killed some white people? Now, for the record, him saying, what is it always okay to Zeth Typhon wrote 50 mil, damn. Um, there's 4 millions for the family of one of the victim of the Sandy Hook shooting, and there's $45 million in punitive damage. But I will go through that. I will go through an article detailing the trial. And Zeth Typhon wrote Black Panther and KKK, BLM all the same name. Now, I didn't mention BLM And at the time that video was made by Alex Jones, that was like m- more or less 1 year after the killing of Trayvon Martin. So Black Lives Matter um, was not created yet. The movement was not there yet. But just for the record, you see here, that's the final call. That's the Nation of Islam's newspaper and website. And you can see the two of them meeting. So sometimes people they share a common interest. And even though it's a known fact that the Nation of Islam has been teaching for decades that the white man is a devil. Elijah Muhammad said that um, and Farrakhan actually, let's talk about Farrakhan. He's on tape saying, that he was taught by Elijah Muhammad. Well, actually, he said God said that the white race is a race of devils. And there's all the quotes that you can get from Farrakhan. But then here, it's not a problem for Alex Jones to go and meet with Farrakhan. So it's just to highlight some hypocrisy. Okay, you have the title there. Okay, the Farrakhan Jones interview and the possibility of racial dialogue. You have also another article that is okay. We have a pop up here. You see, still from the final call, the official website of the Nation of Islam. Well, that's they have NOI.org or something like that. That's the official newspaper of the Nation of Islam. Okay. Um, it says the Louis Farrakhan Alex Jones interview, a search for truth and opening a dialogue. And here we have a link. Watch Minister Farrakhan's full interview with Alex Jones. So when I click on it, I don't know if it directs to YouTube. Has it opened in the same page or in a new page? Okay, the house opened in the same page. So there it is. And now we are on the official website of the Nation of Islam, which is noi.org. Okay. And it looks like it's from YouTube, but it might be the NOI's channel. We'll see. There it is. No, it's hosted on something called Rumble. Because yeah, it's rumble.com, and you can click at the bottom right corner of the screen, and it will lead you to the website, just like it's done on other social media like YouTube and all that. So it's official Nation of Islam account on the website called Rumble, and it was published on October 22, 2021. Okay, and as a matter of fact, um, I'll cut the sound. Okay, so you see Alex Jones there, and you see Farrakhan there. Okay, so just to highlight some hypocrisy. That's not my main premise. Maybe some people will say, "Have you read any of Alex Jones' book? Have you watched any of Alex Jones' documentary?" Well, you see, that's what I'm talking about. You didn't do due diligence, but it's okay. It will not stop me from sleeping. Now, let's deal with the article. And actually, before I deal with the article, there's my good brother called Holipsism. On YouTube, he has an account called Mr. Holipsism. Actually, it was Holipsism Heaven at one point. So now the name is Holip, HOLIP space SISM, Holip, and then Sism. But if my memory doesn't fail me, he used to be called Holip Sism Heaven. I remember years back, he addressed Alex Jones saying that Trayvon Martin, Trayvon Martin's case was a hoax. And I remember at the end of his commentary or response, he said, Alex Jones, use a B-A expletive. So that was years back, about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. And that's how I found out that Alex Jones said that. See? And we had a lot of Alex Jones brothers, just like we have a lot of David Icke brothers. And in France, you have a white dude who is closer to a neo-Nazi slash skinhead. Is actually good friends with the former head of the skinheads in France. And we have many black people in France, particularly the Pan Africans, who are like his dogs, like his puppets, subservient. They actually, some of them made interviews with him. And he ended up making some anti-black, anti-African statements. He basically said that the majority of black women are expertise, you know. So those black Pan-Africans, so-called defenders of the black communities, were paid by this white dude. And besides that statement that he made regarding most black women, because he actually was condemned by the justice for harassing a black woman. But in France, we had a lot of people, once again, particularly French Pan Africans. I mean, I could be vulgar, but I'm trying not to. But I'm going to refrain from it. They were his puppets, they were his puppies. They were defending him tooth and nail. A lot of black people need a white savior. The Nation of Islam has a white savior, Far Muhammad. They only claim that he's biracial. And the Pan Africans as well, as long as you pay them enough money, they're down with you, even if you are anti black, anti African. That being said, let me now share an article from the BBC. There it is. I'm going to share the link in the chat. BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation. Alex Jones. 50 millions for Sandy Hook hoax claim. That's it. I've shared the link in the chat. So let's go through the article. I will make it a bit larger. Uh, if I refresh the page, it says 1 hour ago, but that was when I first opened. Okay, oh no, 1 hour ago. Yeah, okay. If I refresh the page, it might say 2 hours. There it is. So as I speak, this article was published on the BBC website 2 hours ago. So it's fresh news. It is midnight in New York right now as I speak. So when you will wake up in America, a lot of people will be talking about this event, this issue. This is actually a screen capture or thumbnail. This is basically a video. You see, you have the play button at the bottom left corner, and this is from the trial. Okay, that's when he's in court. You have plenty of footage of that. And he says, watch as Alex Jones is told that his text messages were sent to opposing lawyers by mistake. He'll probably no longer use some of his lawyers because it was just it was weird. Alex Jones' lawyer has sent his text messages by mistake to the lawyer of the people suing him, the family of the victim of the Sandy Hook mass shooting. How embarrassing is that? And you can watch the video where the lawyer asks him, do you know how I got that? He first proceeds to tell him, okay, you've had a phone for a while, you know how it works. What does it mean when it's in blue or something like that? And Alex Jones goes, well, you lied then because he says, you went through my messages, so you lied because you said that you didn't. And then the lawyer said, do you know how I got this? Were you aware? And then went on to explain that his lawyers just sent the whole thing by mistake. But anyway, that's not the most important. US conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has been ordered to pay $49.3 million, which is 41 million pounds. That's, of course, the currency in England, in damages after falsely claiming a 2012 school shooting was a hoax. Is it large enough? Make it larger. Good. A jury in Texas ruled the radio host must pay 45.2 million in punitive damages in addition to 4.1 million in compensatory damages they awarded a day earlier. The 2-week defamation trial was brought by the parents of a child killed in the attack. 20 children and 6 adults were killed at Sandy Hook in Connecticut. The lawsuit was filed by Scarlett Lewis and Neil Hessling, the separated parents of 6-year-old Jesse Lewis, who died in the primary school shooting. The plaintiffs, who said they had endured harassment and emotional distress because of the InfoWars founders' misinformation, had sought $150 million. The compensatory damages issued on Thursday were meant to cover the actual cost to the family incurred by Jones's defamation, such as the private security they hired during the trial out of fear of an attack from a Jones supporter. The punitive damages are meant to act as a deterrent and to stop Jones from repeating his offense. We ask that you send a very, very simple message, and that is stop Alex Jones, a lawyer for the parents said in court on Friday. Stop the monetization of misinformation and lies, please. Earlier on Friday, an economist hired, I'm sorry, an economist hired by the parents testified that Jones, his media brand InfoWars, and parent company Free Speech System are worth up to $270 million. You can find footage of that economist in court. It's available. This is a picture of Jesse Lewis, who was 6 years old when he was killed at Sandy Hook. Bernard Pettingill told the court that records indicate Jones withdrew $62 million for himself from his company in 2021 as his legal troubles grew. Before I continue, because I don't want to forget to highlight that fact, the actor who played in Lord of the Rings, Radcliffe, I'm looking for the movies, Daniel Radcliffe, the British actor. I'm looking for the movie. Emporium, Imperium. There it is. There was a 2016 thriller slash crime fiction movie called Imperium. Imperium. In that movie, Six Figure wrote his name is Harry Potter. So did I make a mistake? He did not play in Lord of the Rings. Um, let's see. No, my bad. So he's known for Harry Potter. Filmography. Okay, thanks for the correction. Um, so yes, in that movie, Daniel Radcliffe plays an undercover. Well, he plays basically some sort of FBI agent who goes undercover and infiltrates some white supremacist uh, KKK type of um, slash neo-Nazi group, and some of those people have plans to kill in their endeavor, in their struggle, in their fight, in their movement. So that is aborted. That is aborted. You know, that is at the end of the movie. But there was a person in the movie who is a radio host, and he's talking about some sort of race war coming. So the undercover agent, played by Daniel Radcliffe, approaches him, gives him a donation, and claims that he has some financial backer and that there's more money to come, and he wants him to be upfront and tell him what the plans are and so on. So the radio host says, well, it's for the radio, for the broadcasting to spread the information and so on. And the undercover agent kind of gets irritated, and he told him the name of a person who is like a one of those supremacists, and he said he showed me the plans because he showed him plans of some water pipe or something like that. So basically, that's the way they could poison people, you know. And he tells him, if you're not serious with me, blah blah blah. So the guy, the radio host, gives him back the money and says, get out of my house. Then there's a very funny scene. That radio host goes to the FBI and says, there's such person that approached me and offered me money and talk about this and that, blah, blah, blah. And at one point he says, I tell people what they want to hear when he's questioned about all his rhetoric about, the incoming war, the race war that's coming. We need to be ready. We need to be prepared. He says, I tell people what they want to hear and they worship me for it. Alex Jones withdrew $62 million. He's getting major paper. Major paper. Does he have a team with him? Has he created something tangible? There is Tariq Nasheed who talks about FBA, foundational Black Americans. For many years, he has been dissing, disrespecting, talking down on non African Americans, Black people from Africa, Black people from the Caribbeans. He has a term for them, which is uh, tethers, tethers, and that comes from the movie Us by Jordan Peele. You know, not so kind of a term, and he has stated in the past that people should not have an organization, and that's when he used to beef with what's the name of the movement? ADOS movement. It's like, no, having an organization, no, that will cause trouble and so on. And I don't want to go into details about that particular thing. Tariq Nasheed asked for donation for a museum. Now he received a lot of money. There's no museum. Tariq Nasheed has written a book recently. He might come up with some other video, but he's talking about FBA and reparation. Has he taken any steps towards reparation? Does he have a team? Does he have economists on his team? Does he have historians on his team? Researchers on his team? Does he even have a team? He's the sole guy, the main guy who claims to be doing some work in order to obtain reparation, but he's the only guy we see and the only guy who reaps the benefit and receives the money. But I will leave it there. And the funny thing is that um, he's been doing, funding events uh, for his documentaries. So he did not come out of his pocket for the documentaries. The people donated. You know. Now, that number represents, in my opinion, a value of a net worth. Mr. Pettingill said he's got money put in a bank account somewhere. Free speech system filed for bankruptcy protections in the first week of the 2-week trial. Oh yeah. Um, so the trial heard that Jones' business had earned about $800,000 in a single day selling diet supplements, gun paraphernalia, and survivalist equipment. Now, the anti black anti-African white dude that most French Pan-Africans used to be under, like puppets, like puppies, like dogs. He's been on that survivalist thing, so they had some sort of camps, training. They will go in the woods and train just in case there's some drama so they can be prepared, you know. But $800,000 in a single day, some people will argue that's exaggerated, but that gives us a hint about the kind of paper he's been getting. And conveniently, he filed for bankruptcy. He's going to reorganize his finances. And you will actually see some mention, maybe it will be on this article or others, that Alex Jones failed to comply and provide the documentation for his finances, which seems to indicate that he was ready to be punished for that, and that it was preferable for him to be punished for failing to provide the documentation for his finances rather than actually letting the court know how much paper he's really making. Lawyers for the parent accused Jones of trying to hide evidence and argued that he had committed perjury when he denied having sent any messages about the Sandy Hook attack. Earlier this week, an attorney for the plaintiffs revealed that Jones' legal representative had accidentally sent them 2 years of the radio host's phone text. 2 years of the radio host's telephone text. I don't have the name of the lawyer, but his fees will probably drop. Those are the parents. And the caption of this picture says, the parents said Jones had made their lives hell. And for the record, he stated that Alex Jones said, for the record, that Sandy Hook was 100% real. Previously, he said it was a hoax. He said the same thing about Trayvon Martin, so I don't know if there's any statute of limitation, you know, but maybe after that, if there's no statute of limitation, then maybe after that, he might get sued for making similar statement towards Trayvon Martin. But knowing the impartial justice system in America, sometimes there's a difference of treatment depending on somebody's background. So we shouldn't have too much hope. He said that the congressional committee investigating last year's US Capitol riot had requested access to the messages as they look into Jones' alleged role. This is the first of 3 trials against Jones being brought by family members of Sandy Hook victims. He has already lost a series of defamation cases filed by parents of the victims by default after failing to produce documents and testimony. Now, this is the guy for years who's saying that the government is lying to you and so on. But when it comes for him to be transparent, we don't see the transparency that he's accusing the government of lacking. But this was the first trial in which financial damages were agreed by a jury. Jones appeared briefly in the court on Friday, but was not present for the final verdict. Despite retracting his claims about Sandy Hook, Jones has continued to use his media platform to argue the case was rigged against him and claimed that members of the jury pool don't know what they don't know what planet they're on. His InfoWars website depicted the judge being consumed by flames. His behavior triggered several rebukes from the judge, who at one point told him, "This is not your show." After the verdict on Friday, he posted a video where he claimed his net worth to be a fraction of what was said in court and condemned the trial as beyond any kangaroo rigged court ever. I'm not surprised at all. Alex Jones says that his net worth is only a fraction of what was said in court. Because if his supporters realize that he's rolling on that much paper, they will feel bad, they will feel silly, knowing that they're supporting him financially for years when the dude, with all the stuff that he sells, is balling out of control. Balling out of control. Jones, a popular figure in U.S. fringe conservative commentary, has repeatedly argued that the Sandy Hook shooting was a hoax orchestrated by the government to strip Americans of gun rights and that the parents of the dead children were crisis actors. His lawyer had cited U.S. constitutional free speech protections and asked for leniency in the trial, saying the jury had already sent a message to all radio hosts that their standard of care has changed. And that's the end of the article. So feel free if you have any statements, questions, commentary about the article, about the video that I played at the beginning. And for those who don't know who arrived later, or those who would eventually scroll through this video and not watch it in its entirety, if you happen to get on this part, go to the beginning of the video, and I played some footage that Alex Jones himself has recorded and published, where he stated that the Trayvon Martin case was a hoax. That video is still on YouTube as I speak, and you will see that it was uploaded 9 years ago. It was initially uploaded on Alex Jones' own platform, which has since been removed. So, conspiracy theorists, you have people who just love far fetched statements, far fetched claims. They love that. They love that. And they will accept so many things. And when it comes to far fetched statement or claims, you have this area of, well, governments are corrupt, the New World Order, the Illuminatis, the Freemason. They want us all to have some chip inserted inside of our body. They want to get rid of the paper and coin currency. They want everything to be digitalized. It's funny that nobody seemed to argue that the cryptocurrency is one step for that plan. Many of the people who are against governments and who claim that the governments are lying to us and that they are on some plan to control the world, Many of them praise the cryptocurrency. Many of them got quite a lot of money out of different cryptocurrency because in some cases it's like a Ponzi scheme or pyramid scheme where basically the people who started it get the most paper. People who have more follower, they get the most paper. But anyway, so you have those kind of people who are focused on the government is on some plan to have us as slaves so they can dominate the world. Then you have other areas. For example, in the Black conscious community, you have people who make all sorts of very strange historical claims. And you have some people who deal with metaphysics and they will give advices on health, food, and products, gear, crystals, alkaline water, and other different products that they advise you to consume so that you will be healthy, so that you will be wealthy. Some people actually sell candles, wealth candles, love candles, protection candles. Some people feel like if they wear certain crystals around their neck or their wrists, it will give them some sort of protection, some sort of powers. And if they drink alkaline water, they will be healthy. And there are some works, some spiritual works that they charge people for. A lot of them are into readings, as it is called. Some people will use tarot cards to do readings. Others will not use the cards. So they will tell the people what's wrong in their lives and give them advices about what they need to do. Some people are skilled because they managed to make a business out of nothing. They managed to make a business out of belief. If there are results for whoever's going on that path, then more power to you. More power to you. I guess, like it is said, some people want to be part of something. They want to feel like they belong to something. But those marginal people, some of them, many of them, are on some major paper. Black Lives Matter, I don't need to go into details. The people at the head of this movement have been on some major paper. They purchased multi-million dollars property. It speaks volume, you know. Then you have some religious leaders who are sitting on multi-million dollar enterprises, businesses. They are making major paper. So I will leave it there because I could touch on some other stuff, but I don't want to be told or charged of being all over the place because there's so many talking points that people can make, you know, so many talking points that people can make. When something factual is not convenient when presented to them, and rather than admit the fact or deal with the facts, They're going to try to divert. They're going to look for escape routes. Some people are very skilled for that. I forgot the title, but there's a book whose title is like, how to win every argument, you know? And someone I heard say, I never won and I never lost an argument. You have some people like that, man. You know, some people would defy logic just to appear to win an argument. Makes them feel good. They don't care about truth. They don't care about facts. They don't care about evidence. They just want to appear to be right, to be correct, and they want to make the other person wrong. So, Six Finger, I don't know if you ever came in before, and I don't know about Zeth Typhoon. I must admit I would have liked to have some input from the listeners. But then again, it is now 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, 1 a.m. in New York. So many people are sleeping in America as I speak. So it's okay. You still have the opportunity to leave comments after the live stream. So stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to buy the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotel.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more. I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medunetia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.